Why do plants wilt when you forget to water them? Why do red blood cells burst in pure water? And how do your kidneys control water every second of your life? The answer lies in one of biology's most powerful processes, osmosis. Osmosis is just water moving across a membrane. But this movement controls life at the cellular level. Without osmosis, cells cannot maintain shape, plants cannot stand upright, and animals cannot regulate internal balance. Here, we will understand osmosis, from molecular movement to real biological systems. Osmosis is the movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane. From a region of high water concentration to a region of low water concentration. A semi-permeable membrane allows certain molecules, especially water, to pass through, while blocking others such as large solutes. This process is driven by concentration gradient, and particles move from regions of higher concentration to lower concentration. Because such movement increases entropy, which is energetically favorable, water follows the same rule. Osmosis is a special case of diffusion. Diffusion means particles move from high concentration to low concentration. For example, a drop of dye spreads through water because its molecules diffuse from an area of high concentration to low concentration. But osmosis is different. Only water moves through a semi-permeable membrane, while the dissolved substances usually cannot cross. So, while diffusion can involve many substances, osmosis specifically describes the movement of water. Here is the key idea. Imagine two glasses with equal volume. Glass A contains 1 teaspoon of sugar, and glass B contains 1/4 cup of sugar. Which contains more water? Glass A. Why? Because dissolved sugar occupies space. More solute means less free water. This is why water moves during osmosis. Water always moves toward the side with higher solute concentration, because that side has lower water concentration. This movement continues until equilibrium is reached. To understand how cells respond to osmosis, we use the concept of tonicity. Tonicity is the ability of the surrounding solution to affect cell volume by causing water to move into or out of the cell. There are 3 main types of tonicity. These are hypertonic, isotonic, and hypertonic. In a hypertonic solution, the surrounding fluid has lower solute concentration than the cell. That means, outside the cell, there is more free water. Water enters the cell by osmosis. As water keeps entering, the cell swells. In red blood cells, excessive swelling causes lysis, meaning the cell bursts. This happens because the plasma membrane can only stretch so much. A red blood cell, placed in pure water, may rupture. In a hypertonic solution, the extracellular fluid has higher solute concentration than the cell. Now, the outside has less water. Water leaves the cell. As water exits, the cell shrinks. In red blood cells, this shrinkage is called crenation. The cytoplasm becomes crowded with solutes. This disrupts internal diffusion and reduces cellular function. If severe, the cell may die. In an isotonic solution, solute concentration is equal inside and outside the cell. Water still moves both directions, but movement is balanced. So there is no net movement of water. The cell maintains normal shape and function. Human blood plasma is normally isotonic with red blood cells. That keeps cells healthy. Osmosis is important in plants. Plant cells have rigid cell walls. When water enters, internal pressure rises. This pressure is called turgor pressure. Turgor pressure keeps stems and leaves firm. When plants lose water, cells lose pressure. The membrane pulls away from the cell wall, a process called plasmolysis. The plant wilts. So when you water a wilted plant, osmosis restores turgor pressure. That is why the plant stands upright again. Fish constantly battle osmotic stress. Freshwater fish live in water that is hypertonic relative to their cells. Water continuously enters their bodies. To survive, they produce large amounts of dilute urine and actively absorb salts through their gills. Saltwater fish face the opposite problem. Their environment is hypertonic. Water constantly leaves their bodies. They drink seawater and actively excrete excess salt. Maintaining this balance requires energy, around 5% of metabolic energy in some fish. This process is called osmoregulation. Your body also depends on osmosis every second. The kidneys regulate water balance using specialized membrane channels called aquaporins. Aquaporins allow rapid water transport across membranes. They are especially important in kidney tubules, red blood cells. The brain monitors blood osmolarity using osmoreceptors. If blood becomes too concentrated, hormones reduce water loss through the kidneys. This restores balance. This is how your body prevents dangerous dehydration.